Oh, hey! You might have to bail. That happened. So we're back in Algonquin, this time on the north end. We'll be here for the next 6 days on this loop. We've got some monster portages to do, including one today. We're looking forward to having some relaxing days on this trip, as well as getting into some brook trout fishing. But for today, we've got 4 portages left, one that's going to be over 2 kilometers, and it is hot out. So I forgot my usual sunglasses, so I'm using an extra pair that Lucia had, and Lucia forgot her hat, so she's using my extra hat. So this is our 2 kilometer long portage, longest one of the day. I think it's the longest one of the trip, but we're gonna get familiar with it because we're also gonna be doing this one on the way out. So I think we're about halfway now. This portage is definitely kicking my ass. This is our second break, so if we are halfway, I think the hardest part is over because the first half was all fairly steep uphill for us, and the last half should be a fairly gradual downhill. I actually ended up double carrying for the last couple hundred meters of that portage. It was just too much, my shoulders were hurting too much. I dropped the canoe, brought the barrel out, went back, grabbed the canoe. So we're just doing lunch now. At the end of the portage there's actually a campsite, and you have to walk through the campsite to put the boat into the water. And there were some people there loading into the water. We were gonna have lunch, so we kind of just dropped our stuff off to the side for now. They've gone ahead, and we thought we would sit and eat lunch here. And as we're eating lunch, there's another group that's come up on us, so. So after lunch there, like I said, there was another group that came up behind us. There's 2 groups actually. So we hadn't seen anybody yet, and then 3 groups kind of just all at once. So we finished our lunch, dropped our boat in the water, paddled maybe 50 meters across the little pond, and then we just put in after a 170 meter portage. We've got a decent little paddle here now, one small 100 meter portage left, and then we're on our campsite lake for the night.
Hello again.
Hey. You guys making like some videos, or are you taking sweet pictures, or what? Both.
Nice. Yeah, like vlogging, I guess, kind of.
So normally fallen deadwood's a bad sign, but I took a piece off of it and it actually looks quite good, so I'm gonna take it. It's getting a little soft. Spoke too soon. I'm only getting 3 logs out of it.
It was like a flop.
Yeah, it was the grunt beforehand.
You didn't like that?
No, I was gonna say that really turned me on.
Oh, okay.
Starting out pretty easy on this trip. Store-bought, freeze-dried milled. While I was waiting for that meal to rehydrate, I went and gathered some pine needles and wintergreen leaves, threw them in the extra water and let it boil for a bit, made a little tea. It's better than the chili mac one that we had.
Yeah, chili mac.
But I do find that they are kind of bland. It's not bad. Actually, I wish it was stronger. A little sticky, but I think the wax paper on this one was a better idea. No.
Well, good to know. Oh God. Oh, I just can't be changed. Felt a little uneven.
So we just got onto the Petawawa River. We are going to be pretty much doing river travel for the rest of the day now. All of our portages are pretty much over rapids, I think, on this stretch. And we're on this river right until we get to the next lake that we'll be staying on. While we're on the river, I thought I'd throw my line in the water. It's quite shallow here and there's a lot of rocks, so I can't cast too far or too deep because I don't want to get snagged, but I'll throw a line in here and see if we catch anything. We might even be able to paddle up it.
That's what I was saying.
Sorry, I thought you were saying the line.
No.
Well, we'll see how far we get, I guess. Alright, paddle faster than that.
Are we stuck?
You're on a rock.
Where though? Here, let me jump onto this. You good?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, hey! My drag is too high. Oh, it's just a little guy. Just a little guy. Ooh, little slimy guy. Not a brook trout though. Caught another one. My fish identification skills are lacking. But they've been on it pretty much as soon as it hits the water. Yeah, just like that. Could you get me my little tackle box there, just the pliers? Got it? I don't think that fish is gonna make it. He had swallowed the hook pretty good and it was kind of coming out through his gills. That's bad. There's a lot of them here. Bah! I'm on a little bit of an awkward angle. We were battling a pretty significant headwind for 90% of that lake. We're just coming to the end of it now and it's finally calmed down. Last portage and then we're finding the campsite on the next lake. We started. This is a big lake that we're on. Waves are pretty big. They're almost, there's a few white caps. It's not super crazy, but it's enough that we don't want to take a wave right to the side of the boat. So the strategy is to kind of just stick to the shoreline and go in with the waves, go out against the waves. Yeah, I think we're pretty much halfway. If we were to continue down to that point, there's a campsite there, and then there's 3 more at the mouth of the river, but then obviously we risk going there, and if somebody's occupying them, I'd rather not have to paddle back here. So, might be better just to take it while we can. Okay, this'll work then. I don't know if I want to go in anymore. Nope, that's good enough. I changed my mind. So we did probably 17, 18 kilometers today. This is actually a nice campsite.
Thank God, because we weren't going any further.
Yeah, that is one thing that I'm seeing about Algonquin that I'm not loving, is that you just book a lake and then you gotta just find a site. With the lake like this, as big as it is, there's like at least 15 campsites on it, I think. Today, with the conditions and how windy and wavy it was, we got to here and we thought, we're not gonna risk going down there to find out that they're all occupied. It would definitely be nicer if you had a site booked and you knew where you were going at the end of the day. If all these campsites were occupied, you'd have an extra 7-kilometer paddle to get down to the other end to find one that's vacant. Water's on, boiling. We have a rosé chicken pasta for dinner tonight, dehydrated, homemade. So, you know, it'll be good. A little soupy, but we don't usually do the pre-bagged breakfasts, but we have this one, so I thought we'd give it a try. It was raining pretty hard this morning, Today's supposed to be pretty cloudy and showers probably like that on and off. There's a little bit of blue sky right now, but I don't think it's going to last. Oh yeah, that looks like rain behind us. Oh, there's rain on top of us. That's a lot of rain coming. Keep an eye on how much water is getting in the boat, because you might have to bail. Uh-oh. Coming in pretty hard. The weather forecast that I had was calling for 30% chance of rain today. Nothing about thunderstorms. It's raining really hard, and we've heard thunder a few times already. We've only been paddling for probably less than an hour. We're just at the end of the lake that we camped on last night. We'll sit here, wait to see what the storm does, and then worst case scenario, we get stuck here, and we have a slightly bigger day tomorrow. It'll still only be 2 portages. Someone left the tarp here, so I'm going to string it up, save us having to unpack our bags. The rain's let up a bit. The thunder sounds like it's getting a little quieter, a little farther away. We haven't heard one in a while. So I think we're going to press on. And if we have to keep stopping, it'll slow us down a little more. So there's alternatives if we don't make it to where we want to make it to today. But if we do make it to today, we'll just be getting a little later. But that's it. Might as well throw a line in the water. Wow, this has got to be the portage. There's no way it's not. We're almost at our campsite for the day. So yeah, we're taking a little detour into this bay. I just want to see if there's any brook trout. Haven't had any luck so far. I might end up switching out my lure, change things up, see if I have any more luck, but I also don't really know what I'm doing, in case you couldn't tell. So.
Land ho.
Land ho. Having a really late lunch of yellow peppers, cherry tomatoes, summer sausage, cheese, and hummus. So I found some birch bark, but everything's still so wet from today. I'm gonna use one of these little wax plugs just to give me a hand getting the fire going. So the plan for tonight was chili on wraps, but because we had such a late lunch, it was like 5 o'clock, neither one of us is really hungry for the full meal. So we're just gonna probably do like 1 wrap each for dinner and then maybe snack on something later tonight. It's funny, 2 nights ago I ordered a weather report and it said that today there was a 30% chance of 4 millimeters of rain. And then last night, before bed, I ordered another weather report and it said 50% chance of 9 millimeters of rain. And just tonight I went to update my forecast for tomorrow and it came up with today as 100% at 17 millimeters of rain, which is kind of funny. But that was a lot of rain today.
It was a lot of rain.
Big dinner tonight.
That's good though. What?
Mm-hmm.
What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Fire is dangerous.
What an astute observation. I would place myself inside of that fire if I could.
That is not an astute observation. It looks like a nice day out. So just getting ready for breakfast. I was going to use my bowl for oatmeal and there's a hole in it. Kind of looks like there might be teeth marks there from a mouse or something, but my first warning to pack away all the non-food stuff was last year when a raven got into my fire bag. There was no food in it. It just ripped open the fire bag and pulled out the lighters and the little wax plugs that I have. And then this, we left the pots and the cups just sitting over here last night, so yeah, it's possible a mouse found it and started chewing into it. That's too bad. Well, we just made it to the other end of this portage, and as I was unloading the canoe off my shoulders, that happened. Luckily, we don't have any more portages for today, but we do have 3 long portages tomorrow, and then the same 5 that we took getting in here to come out on our last day. So I'm gonna have to figure out a fix for that when we get to camp. So this looks like a decent campsite. This is going to be our home for the night. We're here a little bit early, which is nice because it gives me some time to deal with the canoe before I have to worry about camp chores. I'm going to try and get that yoke fixed and hopefully get it nice and sturdy for the portages tomorrow. One thing that I'm making sure to do when I'm cutting the branches off of here is I'm going in the direction that the branch was growing. And the reason for that is if you get a little nub like this, clean it off this way, it'll be flat. If you go this way, there's a chance that it could go in to the main part of the wood and it'll split it. And obviously I don't want that because I'm going to be using this for support. There's a nice bend in the wood here. I'm going to try and line that up with part of the yoke there. For this specific application, green wood is going to be better than any old brittle wood. And I just got lucky enough that there's a relatively freshly fallen pine tree on this campsite, so it'll be nice and flexible but still strong. So before we do anything else, I do have a little bit of duct tape. I don't have any more duct tape, but I do have some medical tape. I'm going to use that to secure this onto here for now. This is nylon line, and when it gets wet, it stretches. I let this one soak in this puddle here, and then when it dries, it should actually constrict even more, which is good. That's what I want. If I put it on wet and it happens to get wet, it'll reduce any stretching that happens after I put it on, which obviously would loosen this lash. These lashes are done. Hopefully it holds.
Pick it up like...
Yeah, that sucks. I'm incredibly disappointed with that. It's not what I wanted to be dealing with this afternoon, and now I'm just anxious for tomorrow and the day after that for the portages that we have to do. But yeah, I guess we'll see, and hopefully it holds up. Thanks for bringing some wood to one. So while the water's on there, I'm just going to run out into the lake here and cast a few times. gotta be kidding me. Some homemade butter chicken tonight. We did this one on the last trip, it was really good too. I think this is the trip of broken gear. Aside from my bowl getting split and the yoke breaking, this also happened this morning. The bail handle, the weld on this side came right off. This is just a regular cup now. Crazy, when we started this trip, it was 36 degrees. That was the first day we were doing those big portages. This morning it was just below 10 degrees, so it was actually quite chilly. Mornings like this, it's hard to even remember what that 36 degree day felt like. Actually, I should be able to pick it up and go here with it. Gentle with her. Alright, here we go. There is a lot of up and downs on this trail. It's not very flat. Well, just to the top of the biggest hill, and they got this up here, which is exactly what that's for. Stops us from having to put the canoe down and pick it up again. Oh, it just did one more big hill. I think that's the last one. So we're just over halfway. Water. Okay, good enough. After the first big hill, we took a quick break, and then we did the second hill and the rest of it all in one shot, and we did close to probably 1.5 kilometers without stopping. Unfortunately, we're not getting much of a break because it's just a quick paddle across this little pond.
I don't know how much I got.
Ew. Currently dealing with a pile of baby leeches on my ankle. It's lovely. Mama was on there too, but I got her off. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it looks like there's a gap there. That's probably it. That's a hill. that's all the portages for today, but we're not out of the clear yet. There is a tiny stream that we have to go through, and it looks like it's going to be boggy, so it's probably going to be pretty slow going. That whole section actually went pretty smoothly. Wasn't as bad as I was anticipating it being, so that's good. Probably helped that there was a couple of canoes in front of us already to punch out a path for us today, but yeah, no, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. And with that, we have closed our loop. We are back on the Petawawa River, heading back into Catfish Lake, which was the lake that we spent our first night on. We'll find a new campsite there tonight, and then we're heading on out tomorrow. We'll go back on the grass. Alright, good luck.
I'm not gonna get him.
Not with that attitude. He's huge. How are you gonna miss him? Oh, look, you scared him away. So we actually made great time today. We're gonna have lunch at a fairly decent time. It's still late. It's 3 o'clock, but this is actually our earliest day getting into camp. Horse fly? Your fly? You want that? Look at them swarm it, eh?
Yeah, I know, they were swarming in.
It's always a little chilly. That's how I swim. So we've had lots of time to relax. We're thinking we're going to start dinner early, maybe eat before it gets dark today. Dehydrated shepherd's pie tonight. That looks like a mashed up shepherd's pie to me.
Oh, your lip just split. Oh. You're sunburnt, okay? And dry.
Oh,
Not everybody can have a full-grown beard to protect their lips. Don't No, I can.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I should add a little more water, but
That's okay.
oh, okay. All right, dinner's done. We got maybe half an hour of fishing before it's too dark. Okay, maybe a little farther than that. I'm still using the other shot though.
No.
Trying to get packed up fairly quickly this morning, so just gonna use the stove, making some coffee, and then oatmeal for Lucia and granola with milk for me. Just a short paddle to our first portage. Probably not going to be getting a lot of fishing in because priority today is covering distance. So, and based on the poor performance of the last several lakes, I'm not too worried about it. My hopes and dreams have been crushed, is what I'm trying to say. If we could line that, it would save us some time.
There's lots of rocks to walk along the edge.
Alright, maybe I'll check it out. Unicorn Hill round 2. This will be going downhill for the toughest part of it. It is still a 2.4 kilometer portage. At least the food barrel's lighter this time. Yeah, I think we are getting close though. Just put down here. I said I wasn't going to try any fishing today, but this little spot seems like a sweet spot for brook trout. well, that's it for us. That was the last portage. We've got a decent little paddle across this lake. It's quite a big lake. I was worried that it was going to be super windy and we'd have some waves to deal with, but it looks pretty manageable today, which is nice. Well, we're making good time, so we're going to continue on out of here. With that, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Someday I'll catch a brook trout.